congratulations for that fantastic award. I think they won the ET Excellence Award for, I think, certain standards and quality measures that Thomson set in over. These little things which we don't celebrate adequately. I think hats off to the man who's been driving it. So two questions really. I know you've come from another industry, and I think the first time when we met, you were appalled at some of these conditions and standards that we have. There are two things that you've done. One is the little incremental changes within the organization, and two is also sort of tweak the way we looked at sort of book production and book publishing. If you can just share this little journey of last 3 to 4 years, which has been tough because you know, in a way, the traditional way of thinking within the book factory. So the group also gets a sense that what can actually transpire in an Indian book factory. We sometimes borrow practices, but if you can just share some of those things, especially those that worked.
The principle of thinking in the way we are going about is there are two things. One is called touch time and the other is called lead time. So suppose the touch time is measured by the actual time taken if the factory is totally idle to take a job from one end to the other, from ingress to find out. And you will find that the touch time to lead time in our industry is a whopping 1:10. So this means 90% of the time the book, the material in WIP is lying on the shop floor, is lying idle, lying untouched. So our objective is to reduce the touch time to lead time. Okay. And by doing so, we are reducing the turnaround time. That is one of the principles on which we've been working. And that's why we've been able to cut down turnaround time. Of course, this thinking is so simple, but behind it there is a lot of practice and policies, the way we think, etc. The other major issue is that in most organizations which are large, you have conflicting goals. So the purchase guy is looking at lowest cost, and that's about it. And he gets all his PLAs and increments, everything, if you can get at the lowest cost. Not realizing that the lowest cost can actually create huge costs on the shop floor for defects, delays, material not coming on time, etc. The quality guy is only looking at rejecting whatever is not good. The production guy is only interested in speed of production. So everybody is actually, unfortunately, getting awarded for conflicting goals and what should I say, KPIs. So what we said is all of this is against organization good, but for personal good. So I get increments because I did a great job, company makes losses. So we've gone in for this concept called global objective, which subordinates all other objectives of departments, individuals, etc. Once again, it's a complete change of mindset and culture. And the third is, we believe that it's not you versus me, it's you and me versus the problem. Once again, very easily put, but when you have, in publishing houses, production versus sales and finance versus this, you'll realize it's not so easy. We are always protecting our turf, etc. So there have been these principles on which we are working. If I get into the tactics, it's mundane and boring. So how do we have we converted the very culture of Thomson Press from what we were to one single-minded attempt to a goal and relentlessly work at it? So we've got software to back it and sustain these process and practice. And it's taken us around 3-4 years. By the time the whole organization, different units, departments, people have come to realize. For another thing, for example, is planning is priceless, plans are useless. And it's, if you look at the sensibility behind it, is that we don't plan. Like we were talking about, do you get time to stock, do you get time to talk to customers and bring synergy rather than fight, give it to me early this time. So even in a job, if you plan meticulously, the rest of the thing will just fly through the shop floor. But bad planning, bad job study, when you get critical jobs, and you can take the job up fast on the shop floor only to get stuck at so many stages. So there are quite a few principles on which we have changed the way we think, the way we behave, and the way we are delivering.